Hello and welcome to the Apex Gauntlet here at Caldwell, Ohio, the home store of Apex Gaming. I'm Tandy, joined by Ross Merriam. Say hi, Ross.
Hi, Ross.
Today we're going to be playing two different gauntlets for your viewing pleasure. The first gauntlet is Pioneer. I am the Pioneer guy after all, and I brought my 8 Peezy, 8 Young Pyromancers featuring Third Path Iconoclast. Ross, what do you think about the card?
I've been really impressed with it from what I've seen. People playing it both in Pioneer and Modern, especially Modern with Mishra's Bauble. But here in Pioneer, you get a lot of good cantrips and treasure cruise, that same sort of core of cards that we've seen have so much success with Arclight Phoenix, but you're much less graveyard reliant. So things like Unlicensed Terse and Go Blank are much less effective against this deck relative to that. And you still have the power of those Delve spell engines, and now you're making the swarm of tokens that can help you out against aggressive decks by blocking or pressuring control decks and mid-range decks. So we've got a nice, array of strategies for you to go up against to give you the full test, starting with one of the boogeymen of the format, Rakdos Midrange.
Yeah, so you're playing Misplaced Ginger's 75 that they used earlier in the week. I watched them get back-to-back trophies on stream on Tuesday or Wednesday, and it was really impressive. And I picked up the deck for the stream on Thursday, and I went 1-4. So
what you're saying is that maybe he's the Pioneer guy?
Yeah, maybe. Or he's the Rakdos guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Every stream, Rakdos. So big shout out to Misplaced Ginger for the cool deck list. Always updating it. But yeah, I think that's going to be one of the tougher tests for APZ because there is so much spot removal. Spot removal, taking care of those early 2-drops, Stomp from Bone Crusher Giant, Fatal Push. These are very good trades on your side of things for my threats. And I'm going to be trying to basically fight through that with a lot of card advantage, treasure cruise, and of one mind. And I think
love that card.
Well, the second Young Pyromancer variant, right, gives you that extra thing that allows of one mind to actually be viable, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, anytime you cast that card for 1 mana, you feel like a brain genius.
Yeah.
So
one really cool thing about it, though, is you can go turn 2 Ledger Shredder. It's actually pretty hard to kill. And then on 3, you play one of your Young Pyromancers, and then you can play of one mind because the bird is not a human. So,
yeah,
nice little sequence.
I think it's going to be important for you to hold the Pyromancers back, especially until a turn where you can get at least 1 token out of them.
Bingo.
That extra value on turn 3 or 4, a lot more important than trying to come out of the gates quickly and exposing those cards to removal before you've gotten any amount of value from them.
Yeah, so we will have chat on this other screen, so feel free to ask us questions, and we'll try to answer them when it's not our turn, when we're not in the middle of stuff. But we're going to go ahead and get to the match and play game 1.
Let's do it.
All right. Well,
Poker hand to go first?
Yeah, sure. All right. Roll 5 dice.
Roll on the black dice, you're on the white.
Oh, that's a 5.
I got 2 pairs.
2s and 3s.
You got 5s and 3s. Jesus Christ.
Oh, wow. Crushed. Owned.
Man, I thought I was good.
2 pairs pretty good.
It is.
Yo, what's up, Tron Travolta?
Todd gets to be on play.
All right. My hand's pretty good. We're going to keep. It's very threat dense, which I actually really like in this matchup. And
I'm in for this hand.
all right. Hall of Storm Giants, you're good.
Ooh, that's what I wanted. Tap Blood Crypt.
All right. I'm going to play River Glide Pathway.
You mean Lava Glide Pathway?
Lava Glide Pathway. I'm going to play the Ledgerman, the Birdman. Here you go.
RV Bird.
I hope Ross plays 2 spells this turn.
That is not going to happen. If I did play 2 spells, one of them is probably Fatal Push.
Yeah.
Interesting decision on my side. I think I'm going to go for a Blood Tide Harvester. Get myself a blood token.
I'm checking there. You can also just use these white ones.
Yeah.
The blank ones. All right, so he gets a blood token. I'm going to go ahead and go. A land here would be killer. Did not find the land, but we can play 2 spells, which is nice. I'm going to start off with an opt, and we're going to be digging for a mana source. That's 1 spell. I don't really want another opt in this scenario. We just really want the lands. And then I'll play a Fire Impulse targeting the Birdman. We're going to loot with the Ledgerman. We did find the land. That's pretty sick. I'm going to discard a Young Pyromancer. I know that it's obviously strong in the matchup, especially when I can trigger it immediately. And threat density matters, but I really like the rest of my hand. And the fact that this other Ledger Shredder that I can maybe play next turn doesn't die to spot removal, or doesn't die to stomp, rather, makes it so he might not be able to use his mana that efficiently. And I want the land, so we're going to get the counter on the bird. Alright, I'm going to discard the Ledger Shredder, actually. Alright, okay. Then, attack for 2. Alright, here we go. Just want to say thanks everybody for tuning in. Ross and I love coming up here to the Apex Home Store and making some good content for you guys.
You're on 4 cards.
I am on 4
We got
cards.
3 in the graveyard.
Yes,
so
sir.
you're still a little off from Cruise.
True. Where's the marbles? We didn't bring them this time. Does Corey have them or do you have them?
I have.
Nice. Maybe we'll bring them next time. Bring back the old tradition of battling for the marbles.
I'm gonna go to 16 for a Blood Crypt and play a Graveyard Trespasser.
Alright, you gonna eat the Ledgerman?
Yeah, eat the Ledger Shredder. I will go to 19. Pass the turn.
Because it is a drain, right?
Yep. It is now day.
Yay, we get to keep track of that forever. Alright, so this is going to be a really great sequence, and this is one of the reasons why I absolutely adore Of One Mind in this deck. We're going to go Young Pyromancer. We're going to play an Of One Mind. We're going to trigger the Ledger. We're going to get a 1/1. They're not soldiers, but we're going to do this as a 1/1 soldier. These are some really cool tokens we got from Luxury Playstyles. Alright, we're going to Ledger Shredder first. I'm going to pitch... I guess a Young Pyromancer. Counter, we're going to draw 2. I'm going to play a land for turn. We're going to attack for 3 flying.
16.
And I will say go.
Well, let's start by attacking this Trespasser, exile the Pyromancer.
Yep, so I get brains.
Yeah.
I'll take 3. I'm at 15. I could jump block with the token, or I don't think double block is right. I think he's like roughly 90% or more to be able to kill the Young Pyromancer with a double block, and I don't want to just throw away a bunch of tokens. I'm at a pretty high life total as well, and I think I'm the aggressor in this spot. Are you still at 17? That's great.
You've attacked for 5 and I've gained 2 life.
Yeah. You didn't shock with the Blood Crypt? Whoa! Scummerston! I don't know.
I definitely shocked in a Blood Crypt last turn.
Okay.
But I thought I took it.
Well, you've only gained 2 life, and I've hit you for
5, right?
and you shocked for 2, so you should be at 15.
Yeah. I think I announced it, but didn't go over it. Tap the thing.
That's okay.
I've been in a really awkward spot every turn. Just from having plays I want to make, but they make my mana really awkward. The Shredder is getting kind of out of control.
Oh, yeah.
This Pyromancer is definitely threatening to get out of control if I give you 1 on tap with it.
Oh, yeah, you have to kill it this turn or you're in a lot of trouble, so...
Yeah.
That's one thing I really like about the Young Pyromancers is that they really dictate the pace of the game. Like, Ross is essentially bottlenecked into interacting this turn and not playing another threat, because if he lets me untap, the odds of me making 3 or more tokens is pretty high just because of how the deck operates. Right.
So
Blood token down.
Blood, discarding. We're on what, 3 in graveyard?
Yeah.
I actually think I just don't have time for this Fable.
Okay. We draw 1.
That was great.
Okay. So he must have drawn Fatal Push, and he's just going to go Stomp and Push and just clear my tokens.
Push the Shredder.
Yeah, that's fine.
And Power Word kill the Young Pyromancer.
Right. We'll consider trigger.
Pass turn. Definitely far from out of the woods. A treasure cruise here would be awesome.
Let's go TPI. Treasure cruise.
Oh, that's great. And now you need six colorless soldiers.
Yeah, they're right there.
Here.
All right, we'll draw 3. And all right, I'm gonna play Silken Dawn and attack for 2.
13.
All right, I'm gonna strangle this. I'm gonna pitch Spike Field Hazard. Get another soldier. And say go.
Now you have 3 cards.
Yep. The high threat density in this deck, being able to play Third Path Iconoclast, Young Pyromancer, and Ledger Shredder, they're all just essentially must-kill creatures for 2 mana. I don't think I've ever played a deck like this before, where that was like something that we could do.
Okay, let's hope this Shieldred can do some things.
All right, in response, I'm going to consider up. So it's a Fiery Impulse. I don't have a way to kill the Shieldred yet, so I think I can keep this and look for another removal spell, but I do have 3 copies of Fading Hope in my deck, so I'm just going to dig for the Fading Hope.
Yeah, obviously doing this in response to the Shieldred, so
Yeah.
there, the stack is empty.
Yeah, the stack is empty. All right, on my upkeep, guess what I drew, Ross? It is a Fading Hope, and I'm going to bounce it before draws. So we're going to have 3 here, and then 1 here. These are Summoning Sick.
Yeah. Let's do black for summoning sick ones.
That's fine.
There's a distinction.
Fading Hope is a card that I found was a great answer to all the cards from green decks, while also just randomly just obliterating Shieldred.
Yeah, at this point, I can't see how I catch back up this game.
Yeah. All right, so this many coming in.
Yeah, but that's 7, so I go to 6.
Yeah. So just to make sure that, I guess we don't have to make sure Day and Night doesn't trigger, but I haven't played a land yet, so I'm going to play a Consider, get another token. I don't really need to land, but I guess if I draw one, I'll play it. That's why. Yeah, your turn. Goodbye, Gigantha, but don't really need it. You can afford to be reactive here.
You have 7 tokens.
Something like that.
That's an unfortunate number.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can get out of this at all.
Well, let's play Trespasser, exile a creature, right? You have.
I cruised them.
Okay, well,
You can hit
I'll
your
exile
own if
one
you
of
want.
mine then.
All right,
So
so
I
you go to 7.
need to gain a life here. You go to 14. And then I will stomp the Iconoclast.
You have 1 card left?
Yep.
I'll make disappear it. Make a token.
And I'm dead.
Yeah.
Any spell was enough. Yeah. Yeah, I could have just killed the Shredder on 2, but it was my only removal spell. I really wanted it for a Peezy.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured if I play the 3/2, then like you can't really play Peezy into that. But then I didn't really want to play the removal spell on 3 or 4. I ended up finding the push on 4 off the blood, which was great, but just fell too far behind. If I'd been able to like get the Shielder down on 4, maybe it does more, because that's the turn before you cruised.
Yeah.
But even then, like you could take 6 or 8 that game and still be fine.
Easily, yeah.
So yeah, I'm not sure exactly what I could have done. I don't know how much value the looting with the Shredder got you. I think I just need to power word kill it.
I think, in general, when you're playing against a card like Ledger Shredder or Third Path Iconoclast, playing a threat instead of an answer is usually incorrect, especially because I can just answer your threat pretty easily, and that actually just creates a chain reaction that allows me to continuously gain advantages from my creatures, right?
Yeah, I tried to get cheeky in that game and got soundly punished.
Judge Cagle says, I should consider converting to that build of Izzet next. I really like it. I think this build is quite good as well.
Yeah, seemed really good there. It just very easily overwhelmed me. I had a little bit more of a threat-heavy hand. and this is definitely a matchup where I need to answer your threats early because your threats create such a cascading advantage. Maybe, but yeah, there's no way I could mulligan that hand. And I think if I power word kill the Shredder, that's going to deny you, 2 cards in your graveyard because you did discard. You would have been way off the Fading Hope, so the Shieldred would have done a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have just been way better. I might have been able to win that game if I just power word kill in 2. Okay, so I got to be on the play for this game.
True.
Yeah, I think this hand is fine.
So I have a 5-lander. I'm pretty sure I want to go to 6. Five lands is a lot.
I agree. That's a lot of lands.
Mulliganing against a Thoughtseize deck is pretty rough, though. Like, we're on the draw. Like, I could make, like, 1,000 arguments to keep that hand, but I think the odds of me winning the game if I keep that hand are very low.
Yeah. The not wanting to mulligan with Thoughtseize deck is more about the borderline hands. The obvious mulligan hands, you still pull back.
Yeah, but I would keep, like, 4 land and those 2 spells on 6, like, I don't know.
But you're probably going to have 3 lands, 3 spells in your 6 here.
That's true. All right.
Yeah.
We'll keep.
And 7 lands.
I'm going to put back. So Fading Hope is pretty good in a lot of spots, but early in the game it's not that useful, especially in this matchup. So
yeah, you have so much velocity, you can find the others.
Right. All right, you're up.
It's the one of the awkward things about Pioneer not having fetch lands. You really have to think about cards you put on the bottom.
Yeah.
Because you're just not going to find
Yeah,
them.
you'll never get them again.
Yeah, it happens with Phoenix when you put like Temporal Trespass on the bottom.
Someone asked about Balmore. Every time I play this deck, someone asks about Balmore, and I think that it is way too much of a win more card.
Yeah.
I did see a build from people who were playing at the regional championship in Atlanta. They were not playing Ledger Shredder. They were only playing the 10 threats, and 2 of them were Balmore to go with the 8 Peezys. And I thought that was an interesting build, but ultimately I like Ledger Shredder too much. It's too integral to making Treasure Cruise work, and it adds an extra dimension with your of one minds.
Yeah. In decks like this, you want your threats to be standalones because you're not going to have too many of them. So it's unlikely that you get to have 2 threats on the battlefield at the same time. So Bloodtithe Harvester dying to a Strangle here. Now I really need to draw a 3rd land.
Don't. Yes. Say go.
Well, I have a blood, so that's definitely not happening.
Oh, okay, fair. At least I don't have to face down a Trespasser this turn.
I guess I will Thoughtseize first because that will inform what I discard.
Probably Cruise, but TPI might be. Make Disappear is also kind of hot. I've been really enjoying playing Make Disappear in the deck.
So generally, when you know the game is going to go on for a while, you just want to take the highest impact card, and in this case, it is Treasure Cruise. So,
well, Apex, they were playing only 3 cruises because they weren't playing Ledger Shredder, right? So that's kind of they go hand in hand, I think. What should you say?
Take the Cruise.
Cruise gone.
And now I will blood, discarding.
I want Balmore to be good too. Like, Balmore is extremely up my alley, but the way that the card plays is just so weak. Oh, no, second thoughts. So that's good.
No.
Draw. All right, now do I play TPI loosely? Or do I hold Make Disappear? I think I hold Make Disappear to go. I'm fine playing Drago for a turn because I can play this Consider and look for land drops. The fact that he discarded Shieldred is kind of terrifying.
Well, I didn't have lands.
Sure, but like you had the third. Oh, you discarded when you only had 2.
Yeah,
that's fair.
And you have a Make Disappear.
Also true.
I will, I think, just pass the turn.
All right, we'll consider top card to land. We'll keep draw for turn. We'll play it. Now I can play TPI plus Consider. I think that's probably the play. The problem is that Ross is just gonna kill it, but the longer that I sit on the Make Disappear, the worse it's going to be, and I don't want to play the Consider dry when I can make a token, so I'll just play this and say go.
Sure. And step, I'll stop it.
We'll make a token. Graveyard draw. All right. TPI down.
Oh, that was a good draw. Fielder.
Of course.
You're up.
All right, I'll take 2. And now I really need to draw Fading Hope, but I think I'm going to start by playing these 2 and say go.
I will draw on gain 2. And smash for 4.
Jump it.
Then I will trying to think of which one I'm gonna push. Is there a difference?
I don't think so. I would always target this one because there's more things that trigger it.
Yeah.
But I don't have anything in my deck that triggers it. But some people
Yeah,
might play Fable or a Planeswalker or something.
Yeah, just in case. And then which 3-drop do I play? Another kind of interesting decision. Given that I think I should play the Fable. Because I want to dig for a removal spell next turn for this other Pyromancer.
Right.
And then I'll play a tapped den.
I don't know if you have a Goblin.
Here's a goblin, just a 1/1 goblin.
Yeah, just do the white thing.
Yeah. You're up.
All right, we'll draw. All right, I'm gonna start with. Oh wait, I take 2.
Yep.
All right.
Now the stack is empty.
Yep. We're gonna play an opt. We're gonna get a 1/1. I'm gonna take 2 more. Bottom. Guess I'll shock 12. Iconoclast and hold up a powerful make disappear and say go. The turn where I played TPI and Ross got to resolve the Cheryl Dread was the turning point in the game. But I still think that my logic makes sense. I feel like I'm pretty far behind. If he doesn't play Shieldred there, I think I can weather the storm with just a ton of my TPIs and young Pyromancers and stuff. But he's also not playing stuff and probably somewhat likely to hit his 5th land drop and be able to play around Make Disappear with Fable. I just got max punish for using my mana efficiently.
Okay, I'm not going to discard.
Yep, that's probably a game.
Smush and a treasure.
I'll chump block the Shieldred and take 2. I'm at 10.
Then, now that I have 4 mana up for this Make Disappear, I can stomp the Iconoclast.
Well, I can make disappear sacking the Iconoclast, and then the Bone Crusher goes away forever, but I still lose my thing. But I do get a token. I don't get 2 tokens, though.
Correct, because the casualty is part of the cost.
Yeah, I think I have to chump block the Shieldred, though. I think it shrinks my number of draws by too much. I'm just going to make you pay 2 more. That way he doesn't play another creature this turn, and I'll get 2 tokens.
And
he might just get countered. But
no, because I need to deal with the Iconoclast. So
yep.
Yeah, good play, good play. So this will go on an adventure, and then I'll pass the turn.
All right, I'm going to take 2. All right, you win.
Oh, I think I forgot to gain 2 last turn as well.
Whatever.
Yeah.
All right, that's 2 pre-board games. Do we want to move to post-sideboard games?
Yes.
All right, we'll just talk about sideboarding as we're doing it. Chad, if you have any questions for us, hit us up. I have a question for our director. Can we make the text bigger on the chat? I don't know how to do that. Maybe he'll be able to fix it. It's very small for us right now, but...
Well, I definitely want my extinction events because they clean up everything that the Pyromancers are doing. And Shredder. I like Duress. The card I've been going back and forth on is Go Blank, and I'm leaning against it. I think with the only real graveyard interaction Todd's deck has is Treasure Cruise, and I don't think that's enough to want to bring in a Mind Rot.
Yeah, I mean, cards like Go Blank seem like they would be very good against blue decks, but the strength of Go Blank is the combination of the graveyard removal with the discard 2. A discard 2 is not that good. Like Mind Rot type cards just don't see that much play in this format. The only reason Go Blank sees play is because against things like Phoenix, you sometimes get to exile their Phoenix as well while shutting down some of their Delve stuff. And again, I do have Delve stuff, so I mean, you can make an argument for or against, but I think that that's kind of the beauty of playing sideboarding or whatever.
I think I'm gonna trim some Trespassers too. I think it's just the easiest card for you to sit there and chump block with tokens. And I want to maximize the amount of removal in my deck. Become more of a control deck here.
I don't really know how to sideboard in this matchup, to be honest. I am still learning the deck. I keep changing a lot of things. These are all cards, like the Rao and the Outpost Sieges are new to the archetype. The team that played it at the RC in Atlanta was doing that. I don't really want to cut stuff like Opt, right? But I also can't cut creatures. Strangle's pretty good. Fire Impulse is pretty good. Like, you have a lot of those types of creatures that I need to kill. It's possible, though, that I should just be benching a bunch of Fire Impulses because we're bringing in Roast for the thing that matters most.
Well, I would bench Strangle before Impulse.
I mean, I think it's kind of close, but I think Strangle is particularly good against Graveyard Trespasser. Like, if I don't, like, once it eats one thing out of the graveyard, sometimes it actually is just, like, super annoying. Okay, I'm going to cut the 3 Fading Hopes, the 2 Spikefield Hazards, since they just have no targets, and we can trim on lands a little bit because the games just go longer. But then I just have to make a tough choice. Like, do I cut Opt? I think I just cut Opt. It, like, kind of sucks or whatever because it helps create velocity, but I just have to cut something, and I like all my threats, and I like all my draw twos, and I need some amount of removal to kill your creatures. So you just have to figure out a cut in some way there. We're gonna try cutting the Ops. It might be wrong. I like all this stuff.
I can tell you I would not cut Opt.
What would you cut? You want to take a look?
I would just trim on removal.
Just trim on removal?
Yeah,
Okay,
so bringing in 3 roasts, like...
Okay, I'll just cut some... I have to cut 4 Fire Impulse, you know? Or 2 Strangle, 2 Fire Impulse.
Yeah, I don't think you want that much removal in your deck. You want, like, just enough to answer a threat or two, but, like, you can leave a goblin around or a trespasser around while you're making a bunch of 1/1s.
I'm gonna trust my gut and leave the Strangles in and cut Impulse. There, a lot of times in this matchup, they also do bring in the Go Blanks, and I could see a situation where my graveyard gets exiled and my Fire Impulse doesn't kill a 3/3. All right, so 4, 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, so Outpost Siege, Rao, excellent in the matchup. Roast, mostly for Shield Dread, but generic removal spell is very good. And then Extinction Event is a huge sideboard card for this matchup. And Negate and Disdainful Stroke both stop that, but Disdainful Stroke also stops Shield Dread, and Negate also stops just a bunch of your removal spells or, sideboard planeswalkers or whatever.
Yeah. Normally, I would say I don't want counter spells against a matchup with so much point discard, but with cards like Extinction Event and Shield Dread being so powerful, it makes some sense.
Yeah.
Oh, cut Make Disappear. Yeah, that also makes sense to me.
I just like having the more reactive stuff in the matchup. Like, I expect you to trim some threads. I really need to have answers to your like mid and late game stuff. You don't put that much pressure on me early. It's basically just the 3-mana 2/3, which I can, or 3/2 that I can answer pretty easily. Plus, I'm okay just playing draw go because I have Ops and Considers to hit my land drops.
Ops and Considers. That's lucky.
Yeah. Wasn't going to have it. Yeah, I mean, you make good points. I think the optimal might be like 2/2, like 2 Opt and 2 Fire Impulse come out or something like that. All right. My 7 is great.
Same.
Go.
Go.
Your turn.
Swamp. Push the Shredder. Thoughtseize you. Well, I do not have an answer to this Iconoclast, so take that one.
You're at 18.
That's the turn. Leave those up.
Yes, sir. Here you go.
I don't want to shock to buy Gigantha.
Nope. I have a Make Disappear in my hands. You mean just... What if you played a Graveyard Trespasser? I will consider... I kind of just don't want a creature. So Ross hasn't played a threat yet, which leads me to believe that his hand is just full of ways to kill creatures. So I'm going to look for treasure cruises and stuff. Take it.
Haunted Ridge Pass.
Go.
I have the Eye Tyrant Pass. Let's go Haunted Ridge, Dreadbore the Iconoclast.
We did. If you just play something, we can continue the game.
Pass the turn.
If you just run a card and to make this appear, we can keep playing as normal. All right, I'm gonna play this on cons, so I get an extra look every turn. So I'm also gonna play this Consider. I kind of want to hit my land drops from now on, so I'm just gonna keep this and play it in Sigo.
Well, that's kind of punishing.
And we have the Rose for Shield Red, which is why I'm fine just tapping out for the Outpost Siege for a turn. Next turn, I'll get to maybe find a card draw spell off the Cons Outpost Siege.
Play an Urborg, Duress the Roast, play Shield Red. Crap. I could have Duress last turn, and I might have taken the Siege and just kept trading, but...
Alright. Oh, baby! Alright, I'll take 2. Do I have 5? 1, 2.
You got to.
3. I don't. I have 3.
Right.
So we'll play this.
You have 6 lands, though, so
yeah.
You can just Strangle.
Yeah, I'll minus and Strangle.
Well, although if you minus, then I've got Hive to attack down the route. But you still have Siege, then.
I still have to minus. What are you talking about?
Huh?
What are you talking
about? I'm just saying you could let this... Yeah, you could try to let this live and find another removal spell to keep the route. No, because then your Rowl's just going to die to both. Yeah, you're fine.
All right,
So Rowl's on 2.
Yeah, it's going to die to the Hive, but that's fine. I have this Cons going, so your turn. And if he spends 4 mana to just attack the Row down, I think that's fine. Gigantha might actually be really big here in a minute.
Yep. Yeah, let's attack down the Row and exile, I guess, a spell.
Okay. Take care of which one.
No.
Doesn't matter for me. Any plays after?
Nope.
All right. Well, we're out of the woods. Shield Red is passed. Real Consider. All right. I'll play TPI. Is that good?
Yep.
I'll play Young Pyromancer. Any response?
I will respond to Young Pyromancer by Fatal Pushing the Iconoclast. With 2 mana up to pay for Make Disappear.
In response, I'll consider, because I can draw another 1 mana thing to do. Graveyard. Okay. That's fine. This is dead.
The Make Disappear is still in your hand.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
All right, and then I will Treasure Cruise and make it 1. What do you mean, Jesus? I'm drawing 2 cards a turn. My deck is in turbo mode.
Well,
All right, I'm going to exile all my creatures. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Draw 3. And I have not played lands.
I agree.
Actually, I'll just probably hold the Odawara. No, I'm just going to want all my mana. Here we go. I'm going to pick up Make Disappear. I have Make Disappear in my hand.
Yep.
It's just been weird to have it sitting. Chat, what do you think of the deck so far? Outpost Siege looking mighty good. I actually love that both halves of it are great.
Extinction Event on Even.
Yeah.
Then I'll play a Seer Step Pathway. And Animate Hive, attack, exile, cruise.
Yep, I'm at 15.
You're up.
Alright, it's Cons. Draw. Ledger Shredder, Pyromancer, Loot. I'm gonna discard. Kind of want to keep Make Disappear now.
I have 9 mana.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright. You have no cards in hand?
Correct.
Alright, well, I'm not going to play around top decks. I'll play this. Make 2 elementals. Look for like another cruise or something. I'm going to keep this. Your turn.
Play Seer Step Pathway.
Yep.
Actually, no, I could draw
Fable.
I was thinking the 3/2 Harvester.
Okay. Draw.
Yep.
Alright, sorry. I'll put each first. I'm gonna draw. Play this. So if we animate and attack with everything, would then... Yeah, alright, that's fine. Attack. Get a 1/1.
Animate Hive.
Mm-hmm.
Block a goblin. Take 2, 4, 6, 9, 11.
Okay. Here you go.
Maybe I was supposed to.
You want to eat a
Trade for the-
Pyromancer instead?
Huh?
You want to eat a Pyromancer or trade for Den instead? I mean, I have Hall of Storm Giants. I don't think it matters. I also have a Disdainful Stroke, so like I don't think you have any outs.
Sure. I'm dead.
Okay.
Once you show me the stroke,
Yeah. All right. Well, a 2/1 start here for Izzet
yeah.
8PZ against what I consider to be the format's best deck, Rakdos mid. The changes I've made, specifically the addition of Strangle, the Fading Hopes were obviously nuts in the first game. The Strangle overall has been quite good. The Make Disappears are much worse against decks with like Thoughtseize and Duress because once they see it, they can kind of navigate around it pretty easily.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
That's making me wonder if I need to be more aggressive in this matchup because you have such a strong late game with Cruise and Outpost Siege. But I held the Duress for a turn, like not wanting you to draw a Disdainful Stroke to counter my Shield Red. And then you had the Outpost Siege as your last card in hand as a big punisher. But if I just hit the Outpost Siege, then you get to play Ral and Plus.
Yeah.
And then what am I doing?
Yeah. All right, chat. We're going to be taking questions between games while we're shuffling and mulliganing stuff. So get them in if you want. Ross Mayer and myself having a blast over here in Caldwell, Ohio, visiting the Apex Gaming home store, playing probably my favorite deck of all time is a Pyromancer. Absolutely love Young Pyromancer. Getting to play with essentially 8 of them really just changes the dynamic of the deck. You're able to create this focal point that's really consistent because you essentially have 8 copies of a thing. How important is Gigantha? So, I think Gigantha is something that we could maybe cut. Like, I haven't gotten it in 3 games against a matchup where I would aggressively want it against you.
But the only reason you didn't get it that game is because you drew so well off the top.
Well, I had, yeah. I mean, the Outpost Siege made it so that, like, I never ran out of stuff to do.
Yeah.
And Gigantha was just secondary. But I think playing counterspells makes it so, like, buying a companion is worse. So if you really wanted to play Brazen Borrower or something, that's probably fine. But I don't know that I would sack a Gigantha to play one Brazen Borrower
Exactly.
or a sideboard card.
You need a significantly better reason to get rid of a companion because you don't get them very often, but it comes at such a low opportunity cost.
Yeah. Plus, I think Outpost Siege is maybe better than Chandra for this matchup just because it's hard to kill.
Agreed.
I'll keep.
Hive Thoughtseize.
Pretty good hands.
I will select. Yeah, I'll take the Outpost Siege. That's the turn.
We did it, folks. Star Wars Fire Bluff so I can play the Consider. I'll leave my hand face up for Ross for a minute.
Yeah. I will play a Seer Step Pathway and pass the turn.
We'll consider just to look for threats, fill our graveyard for Treasure Cruise. Been a land because we have a bunch. We'll play the Den and say go.
Haunted Ridge, pass.
See, if you noticed, one of Ross's easiest ways to beat me is to just get a threat down, but having this Make Disappear early just makes it so that he can't essentially stick anything, and then that just gives me time to find my like big haymakers. Your go.
Swamp Thoughtseize you.
I have a negate of Wood Mind also. I could negate this, but I really don't want to leave a spot where he can resolve a 3-mana creature without having to take the negate out of my hand. Or the Make Disappear, rather.
You got 3 in the graveyard right now.
Yeah, and then I'm going to opt, so I'm going to be able to cruise next turn pretty
Yeah.
easily.
So, I've got to take the cruise here, go to 16, and then I've got to offer up this Bone Crusher to a Make Disappear.
Yeah, I'll counter it.
Then pass the turn.
Play an opt as well. Now we're just digging for more Treasure Cruises. We'll bottom a land, since we have a land drop for next turn. Untap, draw.
This could be a buy Gigantha turn.
Yeah, but negate keeps you from sticking something scary. I don't really know. Maybe I should have just negated the Thoughtseize, honestly.
Mainly stops me from sticking Fable.
Yeah. All right, we'll play TPI since we have the negate. We can protect or we can do whatever. We can't play TPI or we can't play F1 mine this turn, but the negate here is pretty well positioned.
Fatal push the Iconoclast.
Right, well, I'll go for a negate so I can get a token.
Yeah. I will. So negates in the graveyard. One in hand.
Two.
Yeah, one unknown. Okay, I'll just make sure this Iconoclast is down. We'll stop it.
Okay.
Pass the turn.
Someone says, do you think you could play Fable in any slot in a Pyro? I think that it is a card for a different style of deck. This deck is really centered around playing those cheap 2-mana threats, and then just utilizing them with all the cheap instants and sorceries. So I'll just play Divination. I mean, it's still fine, right?
Yeah.
Attack for 1.
I'm at 15.
All right. Here you go.
Okay. Could have played this last turn, but wanted to make sure the fact that you would have been able to unwind mine for 1 mana and then have a bunch of cards, even if you take some damage, could really put me behind. Take 2.
Yep.
Empty stack.
And Peezy.
Yep.
Roast. Attack for 1.
14.
My main phase of consider. And I'll play Steamlets. You're good. So I think you know the card in my hand. I think it's a Strangle. I think you saw it when you made me discard earlier.
Not sure if I knew that, but
Well, I have it. So
well, given that, I will play an Extinction Event on even.
Yep.
And pass the turn.
But really what just happened is Ross played an Extinction Event for a Young Pyromancer because
yeah, I'm just under some
extreme
pressure.
Well, that's a drop. I mean, what do you want? So it's 2. Let's see, I'm trying to make sure I get all the creatures out in case he plays Trespasser. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3. Right, I haven't played a land yet, I don't think. I'm gonna buy Giganta and play a Riverglide Pathway and say go. Leave instant sorceries for route. Good call, good call. I'm gonna undelve some stuff. We'll get the Outpost Siege and the land out and put in 2 instants back in.
I will play Fable.
Yep.
That's the turn.
You have no cards or 1 card?
1 card.
I'll play Jegman.
Yep.
Also good.
Chapter 2. I'll discard Fatal Push and Bone Crusher.
Okay, that's fine. Apparently, yeah, Rao counts Exile too. I forgot. It's very similar to Crackling Drake. Oh, you can't beat a 5/5? Remember when everyone made fun of Giganta being just a 5/5?
You're like, oh, I've just drawn all my removal spells. What if I discarded them and drew nothing but lands?
Yeah.
I'll play Den of the Bugbear and Smushy for 3. Exile a spell.
I gotta cruise out just because it's the most scary.
Yeah, you're up.
Draw. I will play a Ledgerman. I will strangle the token, trigger the Shredder, and discard a Disdainful Stroke. And I'm going to attack for 5.
9.
There you go.
Draw. Collection.
Man.
Dress you.
All right, I'm going to play a Consider in response.
Yep.
Land. I have a Disdainful Stroke. I also have a Soken's on, which I can channel.
Oh. Well, I guess I do have the reflection to live. You're only at 15?
You haven't played a creature this game. You played a Shieldred, which I killed and took 2.
I just attacked with a hive.
Attack me with a hive.
I've just never had a spot where I could safely cast a creature.
Yeah, that's why I love Make Disappear. It's so good.
Every time I've gotten you low on resources and hoped for one turn, you've just drawn Treasure Cruiser Outpost Siege.
Oh yeah. Or Row sometimes too.
Yeah.
Any second spells in chat?
So So if you Soakin's on next turn and have nothing, and just attack with everything, and I'm able to eat even Den too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Den, I would have to trade for the Den. You can actually do both.
Yeah. I'm doing
Okay.
the COT.
Yeah, because the Giganta makes the Soken's cost 3 instead of 4. So at that point, this is 7. I guess at that point, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I would just have to chump block the Giganta.
Mm-hmm.
But can I potentially kill you? I get in for 3 here, and then next turn, yeah, I'm getting in for 4, and that's still, yeah, I'm just too far away from ever winning this game.
All right. I think that's a pretty convincing 3-1. Do you want to play one more post-board game, or do you want to...
I want to try to get more aggressive here. I'm going to bring back in these Trespassers.
Yeah, I like Trespasser in the matchup. Well, you want most of your removal.
Maybe Dreadbore isn't very good.
Yeah. Can I see the deck? Just gonna get a better idea. I don't know. Just thinking.
Rakdos.
I know, but I just forget.
I think Crocs is good. That's a big one that I've yet to find. I guess
That's
there's only
true.
one.
Croxa would be really, really hard to beat, to be honest. So.
I'm gonna try actually cutting some removal.
Be more threat dense.
Yeah, I just haven't been able to play that game against you because you have so many powerful top decks along with 4 Crews, 2 Outpost Siege, and a Row.
Yeah.
And the Giganta sitting there as well. So, especially on the play here for Game 5, see if getting more aggressive is better.
So Sunweb asks, how would you feel if they reprinted Snapcaster Mage and it went into Pioneer? I think that they just made a Snapcaster Mage that hasn't really had much of an impact on the format. Obviously, it's not quite as strong.
They made a Goblin Dark Dwellers.
Yeah, Arcane Proxy is pretty cool, but the fact that it's not instant speed changes the dynamic of the card. What I do like is being able to play a 2-mana spell at the graveyard by only spending 3 mana. I think that's pretty sweet. I would love if they put Snapcaster Mage in this format. I was rooting for Liliana to develop for a long time. It came, didn't really have a huge impact. Now it's gone, basically.
Snapcaster would have a huge impact, though.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know if it's better than Ledger Shredder in this deck.
Yeah, not in that deck, but in more reactive decks.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, Snap 2-mana counterspell has always been good.
Yeah.
All right, Ross is going to be on the play here for game number 5. 3-1 my way, but let's see if Ross can take this.
Everybody knows that Game 5 is worth 1,000,000 points. So
that's true. Toad's Calling says, do either of these decks attack with the Bugbear often, or is it just a low-cost cool card? Well, in that game, Ross was attacking with Hive of the Eye Tyrant just because it had has Menace, and so he was able to guarantee some damage. I think the threat of Den of the Bugbear is often as powerful as the card itself.
Yeah, and you sort of hit the nail on the head. The Totes did by noting that it's a low cost card.
Right.
Like you don't need to attack with Den every game that you draw it for it to justify its spot in your deck, because so often it's just better than a mountain.
Yeah,
it's just a mountain with upside.
All right, you're up.
I will lead with a Castle Lock Thwain.
How do you like that card in the deck?
I think it's not very good. Den of the Bugbear, Bloodtithe Harvester. You're up.
We're gonna play Consider, kind of just digging for land drops. Final lands. I'm gonna play a. Do I just say go? I think playing a creature is pretty bad. Playing a removal spell is pretty bad too. I'll just say go. I think just like giving him the ability to play removal spell next turn just is bad.
Back for 3.
All right, I'm at 17. Let's reset life totals.
Sack this blood. Discard a duress.
All right.
And duress you.
All right, I'll negate it.
Pass the turn.
No land for him. I still don't know if it's right to just play a creature into a removal spell. I need another mana source, so I'm just going to say go.
Attack for 3.
14.
You're up.
All right, that's probably good enough to just start doing stuff. Ledger Shredder. And Op Trigger.
Yep.
And I'm going to discard a TPI, put a counter, resolve the ops. Bottom, draw. There you go. All right, no Fatal Push is huge there for me. That's a weird attack. It just means he wants to trade Stomp for my creature, and I think I'm just perfectly happy doing that, so we're going to block. We do trade.
You're up.
All right, well. No, I think the game's over. I mean, it was over when he missed the third lane drop, I think. But
Oh, the third time I missed it.
I will say go.
Oblay.
I think it's too big of a tempo play to not counter it, so we're gonna counter it. Saving it for like Shield Red or something potentially next turn could be better, but I just get to untap and cruise, and I think the game ends. So, all right, cruise for 6. Gonna make a
Delving
token.
6, that is.
Yeah. 2, 3. I'll play an of one mind, make a token, and draw 2.
Very cool, very cool.
Are you jealous? 3.
17.
Oh, I think I played a tapped Steam Vents. I think I'm gonna play an untapped Steam Vents and buy Gigantha.
So you're 12.
Yeah. Here we go. Now I have 7 cards in hand, and I'm way up on resources and board position. Ross's only real way to win the game is land plus Extinction Event right now.
You've got how many cards?
Your tokens are cool as hell, Apex. I have 6 or 7. My hand is full. I have 7. Gigantha you know about, nothing else.
Take 2, Extinction Event.
All right.
You're up.
Now I get to play the big fatty fats.
Which Extinction Event uneven, it's not going to hit anyway.
Yeah, my hand's weird enough that I can just take my turn doing this and play a Steam that's tapped and say go. I could shock to like bluff a counterspell, but I think that my life total matters a bit here. So we're just not going to get cheeky. And I want to wait on this.
Pathway, Shielded.
Yeah, I'm going to take 2. Here. Alright, I'm going to play Peezy, and then I'm going to roast it. I'm going to attack for 5.
10.
And this might be maybe the most aggressive thing I've ever done. I'm going to strangle my Gigantha. I think just turning my 1 mana spell into a 1/1 here is good. Your turn. It also makes a future cruise cost 1 less.
Stomp here.
Dead.
Play Bone Crusher. Play Hive. Pass.
Draw. How many cards in?
2.
I will roast your Bone Man. I'll take 2 down to 8.
Yep.
And I'll play a 2 mana cruise. Ledger Man, attack for 7. Shoot a 3. We haven't really played too much standard lately, Sunweb Kid, but that might change in the next couple months just because there's some standard events next year that are important.
Cool. Do you have any spells in your hand?
I have a Roast, a Treasure Cruise, and a Disdainful Stroke. I have you covered on every angle. My deck is incredible.
I'm done.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty easy to talk smack when Ross gets stuck on 2 land for 4 turns, though. So
Yeah, could have played a Fable last turn instead of a Bone Crusher, and then I would have dug and hit a Trespasser here, and that would have let me live, I think. No, that wouldn't have let me live. Yeah,
right.
that was a thorough beating.
All right, we'll get the sideboards undone here.
Being more aggressive definitely felt better, and obviously, if I just hit land drops that game, I think I'm in it. Because you did end at 8 there, and I missed my 3rd land drop twice, something like that. So yeah, I think I sideboarded incorrectly for the first 2 games post board, and was soundly punished both times. But impressive that this is a deck that looks like a sort of synergy laden aggressive strategy, but can morph into something that has a ton of card advantage and is able to hang with the premier mid-range deck of the format going along.
Yeah, I think that the malleability of the archetype is what I like the most. I've always liked those like kind of mid-range control shells. Like you can turn the corner in a lot of spots pretty aggressively if your opponent's not killing all of your threats, and that just leads to like swarming. Swarming opponents that don't have removal is very easy to do because we just have 8 of these 2-drops that just go super wide.
Yeah, and it creates a weird bottleneck where I need a bunch of spot removal, but if I draw too much of it, you're well equipped to handle it with all the card advantage and advantage generated from the Pyromancers themselves and even the Gigantha. The Gigantha was pretty important in that last game. So very always nice when you can build your deck such that the cards that everyone is worried about stopping don't really do anything against the rest of the deck. So you've got all of these Young Pyromancers and Third Path Iconoclasts and Ledger Shredders, these cheap creatures, but all of the spells that you're pairing with them to build those internal synergies that make your deck function are spells that help you match up against people that are just trying to trade 1-for-1 against you, because all you're doing is digging towards your treasure cruises and outpost sieges, and eventually you're going to find them. And my disruption against them isn't counter spells where I can stop them off the top. It's thought seizes where I'm just like hoping that I can nab a cruise out of your hand and that you don't draw one for the next 5 turns.
Yeah,
and that just isn't really a winning strategy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the sideboard plan of Outpost Siege and Ral just gives me essentially 3 more copies of Treasure Cruise style effects, where even if my hand is getting emptied every turn by discard, I have a good chance to just peel 1, and then there's just like not a lot you can do. Maybe that's just a good argument to just bring in the Go Blanks though, because they can just slow down the Treasure Cruises a little bit. But I mean, if you'd cast Go Blank instead of a removal spell after I played a Ledger Shredder or a Young Pyromancer or whatever, I don't know that you can win the game. Like, I feel like if you don't interact with my threat on 2 or 3, then it's like really hard to do anything.
Yeah, I feel like I need a bunch of early interaction for those threats for that reason, and then I also need threats of my own to end the game before you draw out of it, so there's just no room for the Go Blanks.
So Spinoza asks, how's the mono green matchup? So the first time I built the deck, I played against mono green 3 times in one league, and I beat it 3 times. And that's what made me think, like, oh, maybe this deck's real. But then I like made a few changes, and the next 2 times I played green, I lost to green. And I think that maybe that's just what green does. Like, you just lose to green sometimes. The sideboard plan...
Why don't we put it to the test?
We will. We're going to be playing that next. But I think the addition of Negate and Disdainful Stroke to the sideboard give you a lot of help in the matchup. So I'm excited to see how those cards work. Plus, I've added 2 Strangles over what was previously Fires of Victory. Being able to knock off a Planeswalker with that 3 damage seems like it could be good. Or just like being able to have 1 extra answer to Elf on 1 when I'm on the draw, I think could be really important. So we'll see how it goes.
So I'm going to be picking up the Mono Green Devotion deck next, and that'll be our second test here of the Pioneer Gauntlet. As a reminder, we're going to be playing 3 matches with this Pyromancer deck, and then we're going to be taking a short break and then switching over to Modern, where I will be playing Aspiring Spike's latest brew, the Gruul Asmo Food, Steel Seeker deck that he's been crushing with all week on Magic Online. So we'll put that to the test against the Modern decks a little bit later in the show. And tomorrow, Todd and I are going to be bringing you coverage of the latest Apex Gaming 1K, Apex Gaming Invitational Qualifier, and 2-slot RCQ.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of invitations on the line to various tournaments, some money on the line. That tournament is going to be Modern, and it'll start at 10 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. But for now, we're going to take a very quick break, get the next match set up, and see if the 8 Peezy deck can keep it rolling against our Pioneer Gauntlet.
Yeah, correction. My editor just said that we are starting tomorrow at noon.
Oh, I thought it was 10.
Yeah. All right. Well, don't go anywhere. We're gonna take like a 5-minute break. We're gonna grab some water and stuff. We're gonna get the next deck set up. We'll be right back.